Welcome one, welcome all to the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how great F-150s rock crawl, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. My name is 4x4 Toyota Tyler, and joining me in a virtual studio yet again is one Mr. Sicko Jet. Mr. Sicko, how are you?
I'm actually doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. The rest of the family, though, not so well today.
Uh-oh. Everybody's down and under now, officially?
Oh, yeah. We've all contracted it now. That was sort of the goal, though. It was because if you, the mini assistant tested positive for COVID on Thursday. Mm-hmm. But I was actually showing symptoms. Okay. And then on Friday, I tested positive, and I was running 102 temperature and slept for like 20 hours. And then here we are now on Monday, but on Sunday, the assistant tested positive, and she's fine. She's just congested, and she has actually a negative fever. It's like she's at like 97, 95 degrees and feels like it's not a cold. It's really weird, so it's, but she's doing okay. She's getting better. She's turning around. She's on the mend now. So yeah, so now we're vaccinated again for another 3 months or whatever it turns out to be once we're done with this.
Yeah, you got like a nice little booster, interim booster here.
We got a buffer layer where we can go wreak havoc for a little while, not have to worry about anything.
Yeah. There's been a lot of people getting COVID lately, right? Like I originally, when you told me you got it, I was like, did you and Chris finally go have your cuddle fest while he had COVID?
No, unfortunately.
No, but I think, there's a lot of people getting it right now. And if you think about it, vaccines are really only good for, like, if you contract a sickness, your body's protected for 3 to 6 months, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. The vaccines and the booster shots and whatnot, they're good for like 6 months to 18 months, maybe at the most.
Yep.
And so I think a lot of people, we're seeing a lot of people getting sick because boosters came out, about a year ago now? A year and 2 months? Year and 4 months? I don't know, something like that. So it's about that time where boosters are wearing off.
Plus, I think, regardless to what you believe about boosters and vaccines or any of that, when everything was starting, it seemed that we were all quarantining ourselves and just being safe during the pandemic. We had a year of everybody stay inside for the most part, and now where everybody's outside and interacting again. So, it does seem like it's happening much more. I do have a buddy who works in the medical industry, and he said the current strand of COVID is infecting, for one person that gets sick, they're infecting 18 people.
Holy crap.
Yeah, where the original COVID was 1 to 2. One person was infecting like 2 to 2.5 people. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just because we're out now, we're doing things, we're actually interacting, so I don't know if it's as potent as, it seems to be more what's the word I'm looking for? Transmittable, but I don't know if it's as potent or as hard on the body. Yeah. Because it wasn't like I had one day where I had a fever all day and that was about it. But on the flip side, maybe because I did have vaccines and my body had built up some sort of tolerance, it didn't hit me as hard as it could have. So I don't, it's all snow in the wind right now. So who knows?
Yeah, just don't pee in the wind. That's
yeah, don't pee in the wind. Don't tug on Superman's cape.
Dude, hold on, wait, what does that do?
I don't know. You find out and let me know. I don't want to tug on his cape.
You wouldn't want to tug on Superman's cape?
No. Red eye me.
Oh, gotcha. I was thinking like it was something like Tinkerbell, where you shake Tinkerbell and little magic fairy dust comes out and then you can fly. Didn't know if it was something like that with Superman. So, anyways, let's get on to our show, shall we?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, so we're back from travels for like a week here. And then we've got a bunch of other stuff coming up. And August seems like it's turned out to be just as busy as July was. So hopefully everybody is enjoying the late content as it comes out. We told you guys July was going to be a little crazy. And it's turning out to be crazier than we thought it was. We're keeping up, though. We're surviving. Jimmy's still alive. We haven't lost him yet, so I don't need to find a new co-host, which is really good because that requires a lot of paperwork, and I just don't want to do it. So, but today, Thursday episode, so we have been promising people that we have some stuff to get to.
Yeah, we've got a lot of catching up to do.
We have a lot of catching up.
With home, housekeeping affairs and work. But what do we have? We have on the docket, we've got reviews, birthdays, FNGs. We have 2 giveaways to talk about.
Mm-hmm. We
3
got
giveaways to talk about.
I guess technically 3, yeah. Third one that's going on this month. So, yeah, we got some fun stuff going on. I also... I've been trying to wait to tell you until you come to the studio, but you haven't been to the studio in like 3 weeks now, so...
Yeah, I'm starting to like this new remote lifestyle.
I know, right? You're going to get spoiled, and I'm going to have to be like, nope, everybody has to come back to work now. Get back here.
Okay, Elon.
Now we have another fun little gift sitting here in the studio that I picked up at Cantina. That was a donation from RTF, Rubicon Trail Foundation, that we're going to find some kind of a fun giveaway to do with on the podcast here. So,
oh, great.
Yeah. So whenever you come back to the studio, you can check that out and see what it is.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully next week.
Yeah. Next week is coming along, but this week is here, and so let's get into some of these giveaway stuff, shall we?
Sounds good. Yeah, where do you want to start?
Let's start at last week's giveaway that we announced the winner of the winners.
Yes.
What happened there?
Yeah, so I contacted the individual that won. Mm-hmm. And I messaged him and told him, congratulations, you won. And I said, do you know this your other person? And they said, no, they don't. They didn't know the person they tagged. They just tagged a random person online. And unfortunately to them, that, in one of the rules that we put in the in the giveaway was tag a friend. And so we felt that wasn't fair to our audience, to the people out there that, they were just randomly tagging anybody to give themselves an entry into the drawing and, to try to boost their stats to win and not share their proceeds with their friends out there. That, was one of our requirements. The other person that I did contact both of them. Okay. And the other person, the friend, air quotes, friend that was tagged, was like, oh, cool, okay. And then I let him know a little bit later that I was like, hey, sorry that, we're retracting this. The person did not fulfill their end of the bargain. They did not follow the rules. And they're like, okay, no problem. Like, didn't even care, And so, yes, we're going to give a consolation prize to that person because they are actually a listener. He contacted me before I released the video saying he was won. So he heard it on the podcast, before I posted the video about it.
Gotcha.
So he's an avid listener. He's current actually, which is kind of crazy. So we're going to send him a little care package or a little buddy package. We have something in mind already. And we did another drawing for those EVA foam trays, and did a little bit more research this time into seeing who the winners were, to make sure that they follow us and and our friends and know each other. And we came up with 2 winners.
Yeah, we did, and I think it's rigged. Just FYI.
Why do you say that?
Because of who won.
Yeah.
They don't need to win anything.
They don't?
No, I'm sure he does, because he has a lot of work going on with a new Jeep of his.
Yeah.
So he's got a big project undergoing with his new Jeep.
So shocking to say, and I'm actually kind of happy, for them. We've got the winner that was drawn. So the comment was from Samurai James, and they posted or tagged the friend Eric Hanna 4.
Nice. I can't reach the board to get
to do the applause.
An applause. Oh, hold on. There's stuff on here.
Oh yeah, there's sound clips
there
on here.
There we go.
Huh?
Whoops. Hey, stop it. Stop it.
I don't hear it on my end.
Oh, you didn't hear it? Mm-mm. Was it not? Hold on. Oh, because it's in the preview. Here, let's try this one.
Yeah. Congratulations, Samurai James and Eric Hanna. Congratulations.
I can't. Whoops. I just broke it all. I can't stop it
now. Still going, huh? They're really happy for you guys.
They're really happy for you, James. Oh, man. Oh, that was funny. Okay.
Can't fade it out, huh?
I was trying to fade it out using the touchscreen on the laptop, and I pulled open the side menu for Windows, which then covered the soundboard, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do?
You screwed it up. So that video will be posted up on Snail Trail 4x4, so you can see it win, see them win, see that there wasn't fraudulent, see that he did pop up his name, and congratulations, you guys. We'll be in your DMs and figure out the best way to get that stuff to you.
Jimmy loves sliding into DMs of people.
I do.
Especially
it's much better than BMs.
Don't slide into those. That's gross. We're going to edit this part out. Anyways, so that's our first winners. So we had 5 things to go on. Well, that was the first one. So we kind of did a redrawing because unfortunately the rules were not followed, but he's going to get some a fun consolation prize anyways. So congrats to Samurai James and Eric. You guys win some really cool EVA foam trays. We'll be in contact, and let's see. So from there, we have another wiener.
Yes, we do.
For the month-long giveaway. Our normal giveaway, which was a tool chest with a chest topper on it that also has some drawers. I forget what the official name for that is.
The top and bottom.
The top or bottom. And never mind. No, I'm not going to go there. Never mind. Anyway, so a chest topper and chest bottom and the 5 EVA foam trays that we just gave away to 2 people.
Yes.
So who won that one, or how many people were eligible for that one, I should say? How many entries were there?
Let's see. We had 99 people entered for that giveaway this time. A few people signed up on just for the giveaway. We had a few new signups this month for the giveaway tier, and I think they're just trying to get in for that one as well. Do you have a drum roll on that new soundboard?
Do indeed.
Drum roll, please. It's on preview. There it goes. Nick Collins.
Hold on.
Oh. Nick Collins.
Yay.
Congratulations.
We are professionals. Oh, man.
KTM Racer. Congratulations.
Yeah. Nice. That's super cool. So, Nick, we will also be sliding into your DMs and not your BMs. So, be on the lookout for that. Let's see. Where should we go from here? Let's do some FNGs, shall we?
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Cool.
So let's go with the FNGs for the month of June. We have 4 of them. We have Tyler Lopez. We have Joel Chipaway. Oh. Are we going to do all of them?
Yeah, keep going.
Riley Mayo and Will Richardson.
Hey, Mr. Metal Cloak himself.
Mr. Metal Cloak, Will Richardson. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So that's cool. Thanks, everybody. It's cool to see some of those names popping up and getting to interact with you guys. Hopefully, you've taken a look over at the Snail Squad forum over on Irate 4x4 now that you guys all have access to it as the FNGs. There's some fun conversations going on over there. We did just upload a couple of new pucks on the treasure hunt, the token treasure hunt over on the Snail Squad forum. And so those will get uploaded to the public forum in 6 months.
Nice. Excellent. Also, I want to say that if you just signed up as a Snail Squad member, either the $5 or $10 tiers, to search us out on Facebook for the Facebook Snail Squad. I forgot what we changed it. Snail Squad.
I think it's still listed as the Patreon group unless you changed the name on it.
I changed it fairly recently. I think it's Snail Trail 4x4 Snail Squad, or I don't shoot. We should know what that is before we say that. But I did have somebody saying, "Hey, I wasn't added yet," and I went and I looked and I was like, "Yeah, you never requested an ad," and so we can't. If your name's Josh Smith, and you sign up on our Patreon, we can't go onto Facebook and find Josh Smith and find you on Facebook and add you. So you guys need to, if you want to be a part of the Facebook community, you need to go over there and request an ad into that group. And the group's name is Snail Trail 4x4 Snail Squad.
Nice.
Thanks, B. Murphy.
Yeah.
Let's see, and let's do birthdays while we're at it.
Birthdays. Yep.
So we have one year birthday.
Nice. So I was in June 2021?
July of 2021.
Or July.
Yeah. Because aren't we doing July birthdays? Because we're in July. It's always confusing. And that is Mr. Ben Howard.
Oh, Ben Hayward.
Hayward. Hayward.
He was supposed to come down to the warehouse this week, I think. Ben, I'm waiting for you.
Is he going to collect his tire groover?
No, he doesn't need to know I still have that.
Sorry. And then we have two 2019 birthdays. How long? Jeez. 5 years? 4 years?
Two 2019s? That's
20,
3 years.
21, 22. 3 years. That's right. We've only been doing this for 3 years. We have
I know it seems like we've been doing this for like 23 years, Jimmy, but it's
we have 2 3-year birthdays. We have Patrick Eddy and Kobe Byers. Thank you, guys.
Nice. Very cool. Oh, hold on.
Yes.
Good job, guys. Thank you. Thank you for the support. This is what happens
when I put Tyler in charge of the board.
I get bored over here. I need something to do. There's buttons to push.
I don't think I'm allowed to. I don't think I see that on my end as a guest.
I think it's just if you're listed as a producer in the studio.
Bummer.
I can add more media files to this. That's exciting. I'll have to play with that later. So we got those two. What about, so there was no 2-year birthdays?
No 2-year birthdays, no.
Really? Nobody liked us in July?
No, not July of 2020.
Yeah, that was a bad month. I don't blame them. Oh, man.
We had 3 people sign up in June of 2020, and 3 people sign up in August of 2020, but nobody in July.
Well, all right then. I guess we did some really bad episodes in July. I wonder what they were.
Well, maybe somebody they did sign up, but they're just not still with us.
Did they wait?
They're not
like
birthdays.
Rob? Was it Rob or?
I don't know. Do you want me to go back and look?
No.
Okay.
Well, you said they weren't with us anymore, and I was like, did they pass away?
No. They're no longer a paying supporter.
Gotcha. I think I would actually like to figure out Rob Gutzman's when his snail birthday is, and make sure that he's listed on the birthdays.
Yeah.
Forevermore.
Forevermore. I'll do that. Let's make sure I'll make a note of that, and we'll figure that out.
Cool. Awesome. Well, cool. So those are the birthdays. Thank you guys for the support. It's really cool to see the fun things that you guys are supporting, and the fun things that kind of come into our brains that we get to make into fruition because you guys are supporting the channel. So I guarantee you, I don't know, we'd probably still be doing this, but we wouldn't be hitting the record button or spending money on remote software to get some really cool quality and some really fun toys to play with for the podcast. So thank you, everybody. It goes a long ways. So
absolutely. I think we would still we'd just be in a text thread pretty much. That's about it.
Probably. Like lattes, Barbies, and what was the last thing of it?
I don't know. Not Ultra 4 Racing.
Lattes, Barbies, and Stickies. I think that's the name of the text thread. So cool. That's FNGs. Or sorry, that's birthdays. What about FNGs? Did we have any new?
I said
new people?
the FNGs.
We did.
Yeah. Will, Joel, Tyler, and Riley. Hello.
Sorry. Okay. I don't know. Okay. I don't know why I missed that part.
Mr. Metal Cloak.
Yep, I remember it now.
Okay. Thanks. Welcome back.
Right. Yep, I'm back to the show, everybody. Oh man, so I guess the last thing on the to-do list here is reviews? Question mark?
I guess.
Cool. So reviews are what we're doing reviews for is we're really just bribing people to get reviews. And the whole concept is you give us a review on iTunes. It can be however many you want to do. I think iTunes locks it to 1 review per account. So if you can find multiple accounts to leave reviews on, we're going to do a really fun drawing for WINCH, a 9,500 pound rough country winch. Once we reach 500 reviews. So we've been doing this for a while. It's been going on for a little bit, and the reviews have steadily been rolling in, and we decided to even further bribe you all out there. We would start doing swag packs at the 50 increments. So the first one at 300, I think, was the first swag pack we did. That was went out to Patrick Eddy.
Yes.
Episode or number 350 went out to Six String Trucker, who called in a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Thanks for finally getting in contact with us.
Yep. And then from there we did. We have 400 coming up.
Oh, we're not there yet?
Not quite. We are at 399 right now.
So close.
As of this recording, we're at 399. So there's room for one more entry, and then we'll do another giveaway for a swag pack. And we got a lot of swag built up over there on the beer fridge.
And we got a lot from PNW.
That is true. Yeah, we got a lot of swag from PNW that's going to be added to the swag packs there. And also included in the swag packs is a broken leaf pack that's been welded back together. So you guys get to pay shipping on that one.
Congratulations.
No, yeah, we got some fun swag packs. So one more entry, and then we can do the drawing for 400. And then the race is on to 450 and 500. So hopefully everybody understands how that works. Let's see. Where are we at? Yeah. All right, so we are here on reviews. We're going to do a few of them today. The first one here is from Osrotter. Oh, it's from Down Under.
Ooh, another Down Under.
I know. It says, great entertaining podcast. Thanks for the laughs and the dad jokes. I don't know why he said that. Nobody likes the dad jokes.
Everybody loves the dad jokes.
It says, great podcast for four-wheel drivers, good information on vehicles and radio communications, and great guests. Thoroughly, oh, he spelled thoroughly wrong. He spelled it O-U-G-H-L-Y.
That's how it's spelled.
Oh, sorry, it's T-H-O-U-R. That's what's throwing me off.
Oh.
So he spelt it the Australian way, which is totally not the right way, just FYI. I thoroughly recommend this podcast. P.S. It took me forever to figure out how to get this Apple Evil onto my laptop to leave this review. That's funny. So thank you, Osrotter, for getting some Evil onto your laptop to leave us a review. We appreciate it a lot and helping us sell your soul. Let's see the next one.
Okay.
Is I was happy today. Makes me kind of sad. Yeah. Hopefully they're happy more than just today.
Probably tomorrow too.
Probably tomorrow. That's good. Well, only on Mondays and Thursdays apparently. So it says making fun of Toyotas. ... These guys are fun to listen with good back and forth. No matter what kind of off-road rig you drive, no matter the make, stock, or full build, this podcast has great content. Also, love in capitals. This is the one that's gonna have to go on a t-shirt. Also, love the ham radio content. How many radios do you have in your rig?
Too many.
See? I told you. Told you people like it.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I actually wasn't able to use my radio going up to Overland Expo. My antenna is not working, and tracing the coax, I found a spot where it had kind of like opened up and wires were exposed to the elements and not connected anymore.
That's no good.
No, it makes antennas not work very well when that happens.
I only used it when driving from Crux Brewing to the fairgrounds for like 15-20 minutes to talk to Lee when we were driving up.
Nice. Did you have a APRS going at all?
No, I only had a bow fang.
I thought you said that there was one point where you were driving and the assistant was tracking the APRS, or it was like you could see where Lee was or something?
We were tracking Lee.
Gotcha. You guys were tracking Lee.
Yeah. So we could see where he was as he was getting closer to the brewery.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay. And so now she's going to get her ham license?
Yeah, I hope so. One day.
One day.
We'll get her this
there.
month.
Mm-hmm. Next one is from Tony. Betty White 17.
Oh, hey, buddy.
It says, great show, awesome show with lots of off-road stories, some smack talking, and plenty of entertainment no matter what you drive. Great show, Toyota for life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tony. Let's see. Let's do two more. So we got 5-star, and they even got a little star emoji in there. That's kind of cool. I don't think I've seen any emojis on these yet. It says, 5-star, Ben with the Ranger wants a winch. That's from T-Bone Nelly. So, yeah, Mr. Hayward. I might have to tease him with the winch when he comes down this week.
Yeah.
And then the last one for today is from McDouble on the Beat.
I like the name.
It says, give me. And it says, if Ben with the Ranger does not win the winch, I'm changing this to 1 star.
I like it.
That's funny. And we'll kick off the next one here. The next, we'll save the next, what is this? Or what are we doing? Reviews?
Yes, that's what we're currently doing.
Yeah, so we'll save it for the next time because this person is an interesting character. And so we'll save that one.
Sounds good. All right.
You know what else we have that we did not talk about?
The giveaway going on this month?
No.
Voicemails?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
We've had... Whoops. What did I hit? I'm breaking everything over here. See, this is why you can't leave me alone with all the equipment, Jimmy.
Yeah. So, while you're doing that, Brian Murphy got back to me.
Oh.
Rob Gutzman has his... he would have had his 3rd year anniversary last month in June.
Oh, okay. Well, happy 3rd year birthday, Rob.
Yes,
we miss you, buddy.
Do miss you. Absolutely.
I know he's looking down at us from the great Jeep in the sky. So he probably has 54s on it by now.
So you saying heaven's a Jeep?
For him.
Okay.
I'm just saying heaven is whatever you want it to be. Okay. So like for me, it would be cookie dough whiskey. Okay.
I had a cookie dough ice cream shake. Not shake. Mm-hmm. What's the milkshake? Yeah. Okay. The other day. It was a cookie dough mint chip milkshake.
With a screwball in it?
No, it was a not vegetarian. It was
a vegan one?
Not vegan. What do you call it when there's no alcohol in it? I got COVID brain going on.
Baby?
Virgin.
A juvenile milkshake? A virgin milkshake? Yeah. Okay. I thought that would have been like you're not putting something else in it. But anyways, so we have some voicemails. Are you ready for some voicemails?
I am ready. Let's see if I can hear them. This will be a good test.
Yeah, it should. They're going through the same thing that my microphone's going through. So, this one looks like a long one. And there's 2 of them.
Oh.
From the same person.
Shirley?
So it's going to be even longer. It might be Cletus and Shirley again. We'll see. All right, you ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right.
Hey, yo. My name's Eric. First time caller, long time listener, kind of. Maybe like a year now. Yeah, I'm just cruising. Bored. I got to get some miles on the old B10 Ford to get the emission system to reset. So here I am, just driving, listening. Finished up trail etiquette. Now I'm on to Rubicon with the listeners. So we'll see how that one is. As for feedback. One thing I was thinking about, it'd be cool to hear about, is kind of the evolution of the suspension over the years. I don't know who you could get for that. Someone that's been doing geometry and stuff like that since the 90s and go over leaf springs, quarter ellipticals, Y-links, 3-links, 4-links, coils, coilovers, bypasses. Now the mega coilover bypass 4800 stuff. That'd be cool. Yeah, all right, I'm on to the next episode. Talk to you guys later.
I like that idea a lot, actually.
Yeah, I think Eric was Eric, right? Is on a good idea there for sure. And I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but that one's been on our radar for a little bit.
It has. We just haven't found. We've been wanting to do it ourselves, but it requires a lot of research. So I really like the idea of bringing somebody in.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can get a hold of Jesse Haynes or something.
Yeah, maybe. Somebody, yeah. I think somebody that maybe a long-time wheeler, somebody that has been in the industry a while that has seen these evolutions happen.
Mm-hmm. What I would want to hear about is kind of the crazy ideas that people tried that didn't really stick.
Yeah. Like
quarter ellipticals, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be interesting.
That's the stuff I want to hear about.
What am I trying to say here? The model A's and T's, they had one leaf spring, and it went from one side of the axle parallel to the axle to the other side, and then it was arced upwards on top of the axle, and it was connected in the center, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so it sprung down, and then they had shocks on the side. It was really bizarre. Mm-hmm. I wonder how that sort of worked.
Yeah, I would imagine it wouldn't have worked too terribly well because the ends of the leaf springs can't expand if it's on the frame right there. But at the same time, I don't know.
Stiff.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about something like that too. Go way back with suspension to the days when, it was just a shaft and a wooden shaft on a wheel.
Right.
And there was no suspension.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. I have an update actually that we forgot to say when we were doing FNGs.
Oh, okay.
But we had a listener correct us and contact us and let us know that we had our dates wrong. And that was Mr. Frank Gillespie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And so, Frank, we do thank you for contacting us and letting us know that you were not an FNG and you've actually been around for over a year now. Let's see. I have the info right here in front of me somewhere.
It's right there.
It is right here. I just need to type his name in.
I can see it in the reflection of your eyeballs.
We're May of 21. Frank.
May 2021.
Frank joined us. So we do apologize, Frank, that there was that mistake. So
yep. And if anybody else out there, if you noticed as we're going through FNGs and birthdays, and we had that one kind of weird month transferring over from Patreon to Irate, that I think there was quite a few people, a good size handful of people where they ended up having kind of a lapse of a month where they didn't pay for anything. So if that's the case and you're just something weird happened, then just get in contact with us and we'll change up your birthday and get your original birthday back. So that way you can have it.
Sounds good. All right, did Eric call us back?
Eric did call back.
Okay, let's hear what he has to say again.
All right, here we go.
Hey-o, it's Eric again. Almost got all the miles on the truck to the DTM reset. I don't think it's going to work. I think we're going to have to figure something out. That's not good.
Jack stands.
But just finished up Rubicon with the listeners. I'm going to start part 2. Thankfully, that one just came out. I'll have to switch over to the Feeling Fine and Frisky podcast. So keep listening to you guys instead. But yeah, this is going to be a problem. I have 3 trucks I need to fix right now. So that's fun. The 4Runner, 86 4Runner, gets a check engine light when it's holding RPMs, whether it's on the freeway or cruising down roads or rock crawling. If it's holding an RPM for a couple minutes, then check engine light comes on. But then it goes away. So I was looked up out of Reef Coast and have to do that. Yeah, I'll probably post about what's going on with it on iRate 4x4 in the old Forerunner refresh thread. But yeah, I'm going to listen to part 2, see what kind of problems and things you guys run into that one. What else breaks? You guys break a lot of shit, man. Well, maybe not you, maybe just people we're bringing with. But all right, we'll see how that goes. Later.
Well, part 2, I broke some shit.
Yep, you broke some shit. I actually did pretty good in part 2.
Yeah.
But then I broke stuff, I guess, afterwards, the next weekend.
Yeah.
Or I guess that weekend, because we got home from the Rubicon and then we had a cantina that weekend, right?
Yes, we did.
Yep, so I broke on the way up there.
Yeah.
I don't know, did we talk about that?
Yeah, your drive shaft?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Okay, cool. I had another...
My guess for his O2 is his O2 sensor. If you're holding RPMs, my guess is that either your O2 sensors are going bad or your cat is going bad and it's clogging your O2, your lower, the farther down O2 sensor, and it's sending odd readings, and your check engine light is going off for that. That's my guess.
Yep, that would be my guess too, is O2 sensors. So yeah, your upstream O2 sensor on an 86 Forerunner measures temperature to make sure that the exhaust temperature going into the catalytic is the correct temperature. And then the downstream O2 sensor actually measures the emissions of it all. So my guess is either the O2 sensors are going bad or your cat is going bad. That was going to be my thing too. So
nice.
We're on the same page.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's a first.
I know. Yeah. 316 episodes or 17 episodes in. 317 episodes in. Yep. So cool, man. Yeah, I had another listener reach out, tell us that we break a lot of stuff. So apparently we break a lot of stuff.
We're just wheeling.
I know, right?
If you're not breaking things while wheeling, you're not really going out wheeling.
Yeah, and you can't really break stuff if your rig turns into like a parts counter in the garage. Right, Chris?
Yeah. If your rig sits in the garage, you're not going to break anything.
That is true. So cool, man. Yeah, let's see. I think that about does it.
Yeah?
For all of our housekeeping stuff.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, after all of that, how was your week? How was your weekend? You didn't do much then, I assume.
No. What did we record last time? I was down in Carmel and hanging out with the family. I think that afternoon, I went into downtown Monterey, met up with some friends, and went to a brewery, hung out, ate some dinner. The next day, we spent primarily hanging out at the beach because it was one of those days when it was absolutely gorgeous. Normally, there's like a June gloom, July gloom thing that happens down in Monterey, and that day was just, it was beautiful skies. We were going to go out and do a hike, but because it was just a gorgeous beach day, we just decided, you know what, we're just going to go hang out at the beach and relax and just chill and get sunburnt. And so that was a good day. And then on Thursday, we were going to drove up to Santa Cruz, Capitola, and we walked around downtown Capitola, and that's where I got my cookie dough mint chip milkshake.
Gotcha. And your vegan one?
Yeah, the mini assistant got a rainbow sorbet and a waffle cone, and I forgot the assistant got a waffle cone too, but I forgot what ice cream she had. And we got Pizza My Heart there, nice. Which is
great place.
The original location for Pizza My Heart is there in Capitola. And after that, the assistant was a little snotty, and I wasn't feeling so hot. So before we went to go check into the hotel, as we were driving, the assistant started driving, and I started doing COVID tests. I was testing the assistant and me, and then literally as soon as we did those little quick COVID test, like as we did the like few drops in the little eye thing, and and you can sort of see the film, like the fluid like creeping up the tester. As soon as it got to the COVID line, it was like big old like bright beams of light, coming out at it, and it's like, oh, okay, the mini assistant is testing positive. So then we swapped drive. We exited the freeway, and when we were waiting in the light to exit at the exit, the assistant and I did a Chinese fire drill, and we like literally and it was sudden,
at the light.
At the light, yeah.
Nice.
And the assistant who was driving turned to me and she's like, Chinese fire drill? And I'm like, yeah. And I hop out and she like, oh, you were serious? And she hops out and we run around the vehicle and we hop back in and we like, seatbelts on, like shut the doors, and the car in front of us is driving away, and we start driving away and the mini assistant's like, what was that about? You're like, you've never seen a Chinese fire drill, huh? And she's like, what are you guys doing? We're like, we needed to change drivers real quick. And so we explained to her Chinese fire drill. And so she was like, "That you guys are the weirdest people ever." And so I took over driving because then the assistant like called the hotel and we canceled the reservations for the hotel we were staying at. And we decided, because we were driving from Monterey to like Scotts Valley, and at that point we were already in Santa Cruz, so we were like 15 minutes from Scotts Valley. So it was like the amount of time that the COVID test takes. We found out that we were not staying the night, and so we just continued to drive home that night. We were like, okay, we're not going to go to a hotel and possibly spread it more or whatever. So we like, let's just head home. So instead of the 15 minutes more, we had a 3-hour drive, and it wasn't that bad. It was pretty smooth sailings actually for a Thursday night. It wasn't going to be crazy busy driving through the bay. So we bombed home, got home fairly late, and unpacked real quick and went to bed. And that next morning, man, I was sick. I didn't get out of bed until like noon at least the next day. Had my temperature taken a few times, was 102. That's when I tested positive for COVID. And laid pretty low all day, like got out of bed at like noon, but fell back down on the couch, and didn't eat anything, drank some fluids, just, cold sweats, and felt pretty bad. But the next day, and the mini assistant she was fine, even though she was testing positive. She still had energy. You could tell that she was fighting something, but she wasn't sick at all. And the assistant was, no symptoms, feeling fine, testing, negative. And her whole thing is like, I just want to get it now so that like technically I wouldn't have to quarantine longer. Because in theory, if, because we're going to have to quarantine until like Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week, and then get tested and make sure we're negative. But then if we're negative, then there's still an incubation period for the assistant. If she was still negative, that she would still have to quarantine. So she ended up testing positive on Sunday. And so
did you just start sneezing on her?
Yeah, the mini assistant accidentally did cough straight into her face at one point. So I don't know if that was the culprit or not, but yeah. So we've been pretty much hanging low, relaxing, playing a lot of board games. We ended up playing SpongeBob Monopoly, and that was pretty fun. I don't know if any of our listeners have kiddos out there, but there's one of SpongeBob's pets is Gary, who's a little snail. Yeah. And Gary landed on the monster truck, which is the railroads, but it was a monster truck section. And so I thought that was funny. So I snapped a photo of that and threw it on Instagram. And then, on Sunday I was feeling up I had a little bit of energy, and I went to my shop, since quarantining is being by yourself. So as long as I'm by myself, I'm quarantining and nobody's around at the shop. So I went and did some panels and wore latex gloves and a mask the whole day. Just being over precautious. I don't want to, cause anybody problems, or anything. So I was wearing some protection, and I don't know if COVID lives on packaging materials or anything, so I was just being precautious. And so I sent out a chunk of panels from being away for 2 weeks, and I'll probably go over there in the next day or so and hopefully be able to finish them in the next day or so and get those out for everybody. And
nice.
And then pretty much it's just laying low, cooking food. Now that the assistant's a little bit more under the weather than I am, I'm trying to take care of the family a little bit more, and that's really all we've been doing because we're just stuck in a house for the most part.
Yeah.
So how have you been? How was Cantina? Or did we actually talk about Cantina a little bit, or just your breakdown?
We talked a little bit about it. It wasn't anything super crazy. They had Cantina is a fundraiser for Rubicon Trail Foundation, and it's essentially a tacos, right? Yeah. So they put together a big old taco food fest, and the goal is that you go in there and pay, $10 a plate, or it's like $2 to $3 per taco or something like that. It's actually pretty good prices, in my opinion, for being a fundraiser. You get some tacos, you get to hang out with people, and they did it at Rob's Resort. So there was live music going on the whole time. And Rob's Resort is really interesting. I would have never have guessed that place was there.
Oh, really?
Have you ever been to Rob's Resort?
I have not. Never, no.
Interesting. So it used to, for years and years and years, be ran kind of like a camping RV place, right? So you can take RVs and campsites and almost like Ice House Resort, but less cabins and more camping kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
But it kept failing, and they kept switching owners. They couldn't get it to be profitable, and so the current owners kind of took it over, and they're treating it like an invite only band festival resort.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So they bring in live bands, and they have this really bitchin' stage set up, and then you get to like bring in private companies. Like companies will take their employees there for a retreat or something like that, and it ends up being like a perpetual festival kind of thing.
Cool. Okay.
Music festival. But it's like super privatized, like super, I don't want to say privatized. It's super down low. Like you can't just be driving by and be like, oh, can I get a camp spot for the night? They won't let you. So it has to be like a group thing. But it's really, really nice what they've done with it. And I would have never have known that it was there if it wasn't for Cantina. But it was a really fun time. It was good to be out there, good to see everybody. We made a lasered round off the big sluice tree for Rob's Resort. We donated it to RTF, and then they decided to use it to give to Rob's Resort as a thank you to them for hosting Cantina. Okay. It was, other than me breaking down on the way up there, it was a good day. I got to hang out and talk with John Arns a little bit. I got to see all the Mad Hatters. They were volunteering at the food line, so they were helping serve tacos for the first half of the day. Ryan and Sarah. Ryan was up on the grill for like 7 hours, something like that.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah. So it was fun to be out there, just kind of hanging out with all of our buddies and off-roading without like actually being out going off-roading.
Yeah. Sounds like a good time.
It was just a lot of fun. So I got a lot of flack for breaking the 4Runner trying to drive it on the freeway.
Yeah. I'm sure you did.
I did. So I was like, yeah, whatever. But it was a good day. So after that, I had to start working on putting the 4Runner back together, but we had Overland Expo coming up, and I was trying to get drive shaft made, and the shop couldn't make it in time. And then we got through Overland Expo. So when we got back from Overland Expo, I went over to pick up my drive shaft, and I was like, okay, cool. Here. And they're like, here you go. Here's your drive shaft. I was like, awesome. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, let's talk about double cardons here real quick. CV joints on drive shafts. And the owner was there, Mike, for SAC Driveline. And so he goes, okay, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, mainly, I'm pretty sure I need one, but like, I want to know how do you know when you need to be running a double cardon? And do you need to be like running a double cardon at one end or both ends? Or, when is 2 U joints on, one on either end of your drive shaft sufficient? And when do you need to get into double cardan territory? And so he goes, well, what kind of rig do you have? I was like a 94 4Runner. And he goes, okay, so this is the front drive shaft? I was like, no, that's the rear. And he goes, this is way too short to be the rear drive shaft for a 94 4Runner. And I was like, well, I have dual cases in it. So like that's the right size. And he kind of looked at me. He goes, oh, you have a rock crawler? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, okay, so our main concern then is going to be the height of your suspension. And I was like, yeah, I think so. And the pinion angle and the angle of the drive shaft coming out of the T case. And so I gave him a couple pictures. He goes, oh yeah, no, you have to be running a double cardan. Like you can run just a, dual U-joint. So one U-joint on either end of the shaft, but you're going to be killing the U-joint up on your transfer case all the time.
Okay.
And I was like, interesting. Okay. And so I was like, well, I currently have a cross member that's in the way that doesn't allow me to run a double cardan. It doesn't fit. It almost hits the drive shaft the way it sits now with no double cardan. So in order to run a double cardan, I need to cut out and redo that whole cross member. Is that something that you think would be super beneficial? Like, do you think the gains would outweigh the losses, the time and effort and energy to do all that? And he kind of looked at me, he goes, yes. Like I was dumb. And I was like, okay. Because I told him how the drive shaft came off in the first place. And he goes, oh yeah, at that angle that your drive shaft is coming out of your transfer case, I guarantee you it pulled the output nut off because of improper angles and the U-joint's not working properly.
Wow. Okay.
And I was like, okay, it's good to know. So I gave him the drive shaft, or we're sitting there talking about it. And I was like, so could we put a double cardan on this thing? And he kind of looked at me. He goes, but we just built this. It hasn't even been used yet. And I was like, yeah, I know. Can we put a double cardan on it? He goes, well, yeah, but I really wish you had asked me like when you dropped it off. And I was like, you weren't here when I dropped it off.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell you. I want a double cardan now. You've sold me on a double cardan. I want it on there. And he kind of goes, okay, fine. We'll have to cut this and put a double cardan in and move this around, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Why is he's upset that he's getting more work?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I don't get it. Businesses that I don't know. Businesses that get upset about getting work they boggle my mind. But okay.
Yeah, I think in the graphic design world, you do a design and then you present it to somebody, and then they come back with feedback, and the feedback is all like, it's always change this, right? It's always change something. That's always, in graphic design world, that's always the feedback. Looks good, but can you change this, And a lot of times, a beginning graphic designer goes, no, it's perfect. It doesn't need to be changed, right? But a seasoned graphic designer goes, yeah, there's all, don't take it personally. It's not a personal attack that somebody wants to change something, so I wonder if he sort of, he's like, no, I just did it. It's brand new. It's totally fine as is, and he's taking it somewhat like, why didn't you, now I've got to do the job twice. Well, like, who cares? You get to do the job twice.
I'm paying. Yeah. And he goes, I'm going to charge you full price. I was like, that's fine. I was like, I don't care. I don't want my drive shaft coming off on a freeway anymore. Yeah. I don't care what it costs.
And depending on how much full price is, I would have suggested having him just build another one, a copy, and then you would have had a backup drive shaft.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. I did get my old drive shaft back. Oh. So I have that as kind of a spare drive shaft now. Yeah. So anyways, I'm waiting on that to get built now. And in the meantime, I am working on redoing some of the electrical at my battery under the 4Runner. So, when I set up the electrical a couple of years ago, I didn't do a phenomenal job at making everything weatherproofed. And so I'm starting to, this year, that was my issue out on the Rubicon. The SnailSquad run out on the Rubicon was electrical issues due to corrosion at the fuses and electrical connections back there at the batteries. So I got a hold of a couple of Blue Sea systems, completely waterproof fuse boxes, essentially.
Okay.
and I'm working on transferring everything over to MIDI fuses in waterproof fuse boxes.
Oh, cool.
So I have a few of those going up under the rig right now. So that's kind of the current task, is cutting out all the inline fuses, or just, disconnecting the inline fuses from the current inline electrical circuits, and attaching them to these Blue Sea Systems fuse boxes, and finding a way to mount them under there so that everything will have a lot more weatherproofing and waterproofing, especially since I love my snow wheeling. So
that's smart.
Yeah, so that's the other project going on right now. We had the Mad Hatter's summer picnic this last weekend. And so that was up at Gold Lake.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful area up there. I was very tempted to cruise up there for not for a day. I mean, it's so far from us to do it for a day, or it's a little far for a day trip. But I was tempted to possibly get up there and go and surprise you guys and say hi, until I got sick. So that's awesome. How was the trip? And so you must have taken the Ford if you didn't have a drive shaft then, huh? Is that why
I did?
You did some rock crawling in the Ford to get into the campgrounds?
I did indeed.
How was that first obstacle?
Just fine. It was a little intimidating looking at it with the Ford. But I was like, well, just lock the rear E-locker. I didn't air down at all. Because I can't afford ground clearance, and I don't have sidewalls to air down with really on the Ford.
Yeah.
They're like 18 or 20 inch rims on 33 inch tires. So there's not a whole lot of sidewall there. So I was like, you know what, we're just going to go. So I keep the ground clearance. And it walked right up. No problem.
You didn't scratch the, those little Nerf bars you have?
No. Yeah. I was really impressed. I didn't hit those at all the entire trip. I didn't hit anything underneath the Ford, the undercarriage, the lower control arms, or the little running boards that don't really do anything. I didn't hit any of it.
Nice.
And so it was really neat kind of doing it, because I don't wheel an automatic, right? Kermit's a manual. So wheeling the Ford with stock gearing in an automatic was really interesting. I just kind of dropped the transmission down into first, put it in 4 low, turned on the rear E-locker, and then I taught myself how to 2-foot drive.
Makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
And as I started getting that concept down, it was going really, really smooth. The F-150 pretty much crawled through anything. I was impressed at how low the torque converter kicked in 4 low first gear.
Okay.
So on the way up the trail, all the way out to the lake, the 4x4 campground, it went really smooth, but I mean, it was a little jerky because I was getting used to the 2-foot driving. But it was interesting. The added concept that I've never done before was went wheeling, and I pulled the trailer, the camping trailer, into the 4x4 campground as well.
Okay.
So I've got this like massive wheelbase, long wheelbase vehicle, concerned about ground clearance while towing a trailer. And it was just a fun game to me. It was like a fun puzzle to figure out how to 2-foot drive and drive this long wheelbase vehicle towing a trailer as well. And that's not a super wide trail. There's a lot of spots where I was like, if we come head on to anybody, like it's going to be a while before we're getting around each other.
They're backing up.
Yes, they are definitely backing up. And so everything went really well, though. There was, when I first got to the trailhead, there was a Voodoo Blue 2019 Tacoma TRD off-road.
Stock?
Pretty stock,
okay.
Yeah. It was in great looking condition. Like it looked like straight off the showroom floor,
wow,
right?
okay.
It was in gorgeous condition. And there were some guys out kind of spotting and looking around, and there was a guy in the driver's seat, and I kind of walked up and I was like, hey, how's it going, guys? And they're like, yeah, we're trying to decide if we should go down here and try and get to the campground. I looked at him. I was like, well, what kind of trim package do you got on that Tacoma? Looking it over, and I went in and I was like, it's a 2019. Do you have crawl control? And he goes, yeah, I got crawl control. That's what this knob does here, right? And I was like, yep, okay, there's your E-locker. I was like, yeah, just put it on crawl control, throw it in 4 low, turn on the E-locker, and just put your tires on everything. I said, the only thing that you will end up hitting is those stupid aluminum steps that you almost tore off of Charlotte.
Yep.
I said, you're going to hit these coming down this trail, but that's fine. You shouldn't have these anyways. You need to get rid of these. They don't do anything. They just get in the way of everything. And so he kind of looked at me and I was like, just follow me. He goes, have you been down here before? And I was like, a couple times. I haven't driven a vehicle down here before, but I do quite a bit bigger stuff than this typically normally. And they're like, I don't know. Have you seen the big rocks at the end of this little straightaway here? And I was like, no, not yet, but I'll tackle it when I get there. I mean, I know about the big rocks, but I haven't seen them this year. I was like, that's really the hardest part of this trail. If you get past that, then you're good. Yeah,
that's the gatekeeper for sure. Mm-hmm. And it seems like it was working.
Yeah.
Until you came around.
Right. Until I came around. And so I told him, I said, hey, just follow me. I'll spot you up these rocks. I'll tell you guys how to do this. You'll be fine. I could tell that they've never, ever really done any kind of much off-roading at all before. Sure. And so I was like, you guys are going to be just fine. And so I went and I drove and I got up the rocks, didn't even slip a tire going up it, didn't hit anything, and got through there. And I turn around and look at through my mirrors and get out and they're gone. I was like, where'd they go?
They didn't trust
I
you,
guess they're not coming in. Yeah. I guess they didn't trust me. So I was like, all right, whatever. So we ended up going in. By the time we got into our campground, it was like 10:15 at night.
Oh, wow.
And that trailer, I need to grease the suspension on it because it was just going squeaky, 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 going through the whole 4x4 campground at 10:15 at night. I was like, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry, everybody. So we got through the campground and found the rest of our group. The Mad Hatters were out there, and we backed the trailer into this really tight spot between some trees. And it got to the point where I had to make a turn in the middle of this tight spot in order to weave it back into this little camping spot. And I couldn't do it with the truck being the wheelbase it was and everything. So luckily the trailer is as light as it is. We just disconnected the trailer and had 3 or 4 guys and pushed the trailer backwards another 6 to 7 feet. And that's where it sat for the weekend. So
nice.
Yeah, the secretary was very happy. She came out on the trip and she liked where we set it up at because when you opened up the rear door to the trailer, you looked directly out at the lake. So it was very similar. I think you posted a picture recently about, with the rooftop tent open. I was up from the Rubicon trip of Buck Island.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Making the assistant jealous. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And the secretary had commented on that picture about, why can't you teach Tyler how to do that? And then she got a similar view waking up in the morning. And while I was cooking breakfast, she got to kind of sit in bed and look out at the lake. So it was worth it. It was a great weekend. Everybody else pretty much went out on a trip to Snake Lake. They took the 4x4s out there on Saturday. And the secretary and I stayed back at camp and hung out and went and played in the lake a little bit. She just got a stand-up paddleboard. And let me tell you one thing, airing up stand-up paddleboards sucks.
Yeah, they do. It's no joke. They're a lot terrible. Of work.
Yeah, it is. So the whole time now, I'm just I'm on this rampage to add in a way to air up stand-up paddleboards with Morphlates.
Good. Figure that out. I need that too.
Yeah, I think I have some good ideas. So we were talking about it while we were out on the lake about different ways to accomplish it. And from my whitewater rafting days, it's essentially the same concept, airing up a stand-up paddleboard from a whitewater raft. They use the same valve, that kind of spring-loaded push pressure relief valve.
Yeah,
They use the same valve setup. So I have experience with the blowers we use in whitewater rafting to air them up. So we would need to, and I have experience with compressed air now with compressors with Morphlate. So I'm looking into finding a way to design and engineer a 2-stage inflation device that uses a big blower for the initial part. And then once you start needing to get up to that, from 1 PSI to 15 PSI for a stand-up paddleboard, have a second stage of the compressor with a cylinder kick in and take the board up to that. So
cool. I mean, that's neat.
Yeah, so that's a new thing now that's on my to-do list for Morphlate is stand-up paddleboard products to make life easier airing up stand-up paddleboards. But yeah, so the day was absolutely gorgeous day. And so most of us, it was me, the secretary, and then I think we had 18 people there altogether.
Okay.
We ended up hanging out and around the lake after everybody got back from the Snake Lake off-road trip, the Snake Lake Loop. We just kind of sat around the lake and drank our afternoon away. And then we had a big old taco buffet. And there was some really good things that people brought to share. And after that, we tried out some cookie dough whiskey that I had found up in Oregon the previous weekend.
Yeah.
And then after that, everybody kind of just went to bed. We put the fire out, went to bed, and Sunday everybody was taken off. And Saturday evening before dinner, the blue Tacoma found its way into camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And,
how did it look?
Oh, it looked beat up.
No way.
Yeah, I felt so bad. His front driver bumper down on the front corner underneath the where the marker the fog light is down there.
Yeah.
It was all beat up and the lens was broken off of the fog light. The little slider steps that aren't really sliders at all, the aluminum things that catch on everything. He had 3 of them bent way out of shape. And then the rear passenger bumper was ripped off.
Oh my gosh.
The rear corner of the bumper was just completely ripped off. So it was 3/4 of his rear bumper was there and he was missing 1/4 of it.
Holy crap.
And I was at first when I saw him, I was hey, Nick, you made it. Glad to see you out here. And he goes, haha, yeah, we made it all right. And then he's driving by and I'm kind of looking over everything. I was oh, yep. See, I told you would hit those steps. Go replace them. You don't need them. They're useless. And then I started looking at everything else. I was oh, you kind of hit some other stuff, huh? He goes, yeah, we did, but it was fun. It was a good time. We had a blast doing it. I was cool. That's what it's about then.
Yeah.
So never saw him again after that. But I was man, if he had just followed me in, we could have got him in pretty unscathed.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, it was fun seeing those guys show back up. And then Sunday morning, I waited around because I have to go through very, very slowly. I pretty much just let the truck crawl through the trail at 500-600 RPMs in 4 low first gear. And so letting it just crawl through the trail, we just go really slow. And so I let as many people get out of the campground in the morning that wanted to get out. And then we took off around 10 a.m., 10:30, made it back out and ran into a guy that was struggling to air up his stand-up paddleboard out at the boat ramp. And so I went over to ask him about it and I was have you done this a lot? Is this the first time you've done this? Whatever. And he goes, no, this is a regular occurrence. I was is it always this difficult? And he goes, yes, airing these up sucks. And I was has nobody come up with anything to make life easier for this? And he goes, not that I know of. And I was Jesus, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really relaxing weekend. The big benefit to me was that I started thinking about it, and pretty much almost since we got back from Moab, I think I've only had 1 day off. So,
oh, wow.
I started thinking about, I was I need to just take some time to go up, run away to the mountains, relax without any responsibilities whatsoever. And so it was a great way to just do that. And I took my whitewater rafting life jacket, which has a lot of buoyancy in it, and just put it on and floated in the lake and drank White Claw surges for 4 hours.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
that sounds dangerous right there.
It was fantastic. I think I had, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them, something like that. And so when I was climbing out of the lake, it was very difficult climbing up the shore. And I was why am I this? I shouldn't be feeling them this hard.
Because of the surge.
It's because of the surge. And I think just laying there in the sun for that long without really having any other water or anything. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. But yeah, wow. It was nice, refreshing. And now I'm back to life. And moving things right along, and Moreflate's kicking ass right now, and the employees are kicking ass. So it's just a matter of trying not to get stressed out and manage time wisely at this point. So yeah.
Awesome. It's good to hear. Yeah. It sounds like it was a good trip. I wish I could have came up there. It's such a beautiful area up there, and that Snake Lake Loop is it's pretty easy for our built up crawlers, but it's a heck of a trip for somebody on like 33s with good protection.
Yeah, for sure.
And Gold Lake's just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm glad you guys had a good time. It sounds like a fun trip.
Yeah. It was a great trip. Everybody had a good time. There were no issues with the people running the Snake Loop Trail. And everybody made it out. I don't think we had any mechanical. Oh, Austin is. So there's a new guy to the club. He's trying to get membership in the club, and apparently he listens to the podcast as well. So Austin, hi. He brought his wife out. His wife agreed to come out, and this was her first time camping ever.
Oh, there's a mechanical error right there.
There's a mechanical error. Yes. So their tent, the zipper on the door broke.
Oh,
and
okay.
So I guess having to sleep in the tent without a quote unquote closable door all night was a little bit too much for her. And so she said that they had to go and they had to leave at like 6 a.m. So 6 a.m. Saturday morning, they packed up and took off and went home.
Bummer.
Yeah, it was a bummer. So we're all like messaging Austin, and everybody's telling him, hey, you need to get a Gazelle. Look into a Gazelle now. So
yeah. Or what's that? What's the other pop-up like super fancy one?
Shift Pod.
Shift Pod.
Mm-hmm.
Get a Shift Pod, Austin.
Yeah. So yeah, check out Shift Pod. They don't pack down very well.
Neither do the Gazelle.
I was gonna say Gazelle doesn't necessarily pack down very well either. At least for like rock crawling purposes, for taking a bunch of shit into someplace with all your spare parts and tools. But it's the Shift Pod packs down less than the Gazelle does, but they are super nice. They're super insulated. They reflect sunlight, so there's no like extra heat that gets in the Shift Pod, but it is also really insulated. So if you can use it in like 4-season environments.
Right.
Yeah, but they're like $800, I want to say, for like the base models, and they get up to like $1,200 to $1,300, something like that.
Dang.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a good weekend. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was fun to hang out with the Mad Hatters. I haven't got to see those guys in quite a while, actually. I think the Snow Run was the last one I've been on with a lot of them last time I've seen them. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Yeah. And then the last update I have for everybody is kind of a conclusion to my clutch and transmission saga with Standard Auto Care.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What did you end up doing at the end of that?
So what I ended up doing was I called my credit card company and I said, hey, here's the situation. I just went through everything with them, and I was like, I don't know if this is something you guys do, but like, I'm not asking for a full refund. I don't think they completely ripped me off, but at the same time, I don't think that it's fair that I pay the full amount when there was a lot of issues wrong and I couldn't drive my car at all when I picked it up. And I was like, is that something you would do? Give me a partial refund on this credit card charge? And the credit card company goes, oh no, totally. Like, we have a 100% fraud guarantee, and that covers everything that you can be defrauded on. If you hire a contractor for your house to do plumbing and they fuck up all the plumbing, you don't have to pay that. That's our fraud guarantee. And I was like, interesting. So this would fall under that category. And they're like, do you have any evidence to what you're claiming? I said, yes, I have pictures of everything and a list of everything that was wrong. And they said, okay, sounds good. How much do you want back? And I was like, the labor to drop the transmission and drivetrain was $950. I just want $950 back from the $1,700 I spent, and I'll be happy. I think that they deserve something for the work that they did do correctly. So I think that $950 is a fair value to get back. They said, okay, it'll be on your card in a couple days. Our dispute team will be reaching out to you to collect the evidence and talk to you. I was like, cool, sounds good. And that was all it was. It was like a 10-minute conversation. I
Wow.
was very, very impressed. And I've also now kind of been like, all right, from here on out, I am spending everything on credit cards. Like I'm using credit cards for everything. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
That's the point.
yeah. So that's the conclusion. Apparently, if you get screwed over by a mechanic, just make sure you pay with credit cards, and then you can talk to your credit card company. And for anybody out there, I use Citibank for my credit card stuff, and they were absolutely fantastic to work with. Made it extremely pain free. The process was very smooth to, I guess, issue a fraud dispute on it. So
Nice. Yeah, I've had to do a few fraud disputes on different credit cards, and they've all been pretty smooth as long as you're not trying to screw them over. They can see through the holes if somebody's lying.
Mhm.
But if you have a legitimate, fraud, then it's usually pretty smooth.
yeah.
So cool. Glad that worked out so well also.
Yeah, me too. I was very impressed with it. So, there was quite a few people that told me I should look into going that route. I think you had mentioned it too on I think the last podcast we had talked about the standard auto care and their issues.
Yeah.
And so, I just realized, I think over this weekend, because some of the Mad Hatters were asking me how that ended up, I was like, oh, we never did finish that saga. So,
Right.
yeah, there you guys go. There's the conclusion for all that. So now I'm just waiting on a drive shaft and rebuilding a cross member, and then Kermit should be all back up and running, ready to go.
Excellent. That's good news.
Yeah, some good stuff going on finally. So, finally. It's all usually good stuff. It's just how you look at it, what your perspective is.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Anything else to talk about on this episode here before we wrap it on up and close out?
No, I think that'll be it.
Sounds good. If anybody wants to get a hold of us, has some feedback like Eric did, you can get a call in and leave us a voicemail. It's a 916-345-4744, 916-345-4744. And we have some really fun interviews lined up for you guys over the next couple of weeks. So keep your ear holes open for Monday episodes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Keep Our Deserts Clean with Dylan from last month. I guess Tuesday, we got it launched. Maybe Wednesday. We'll see. I forget what day we got that launched. Jimmy, do you remember?
No, not offhand.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode. We have a couple more really good ones coming up over the next month. And I'm working on lining up a third one as well over the next couple of months. I think is going to be a really fun episode. So, yeah, man, if anybody wanted to see us on Instagram, slide into our DMs. You can do that over at Snail Trail 4x4 or 4x4 Toyota Tyler. You can always email us at Tyler or Jimmy at snailtrail4x4.com. And every other good, fun way you can think of to get a hold of us through iRate 4x4, through Facebook, through bat signals, ham radios. So, yeah, get a hold of us. We love talking to everybody.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody uses that last one, but yeah.
Everybody does. All right, Mr. Sicko, Mr. COVID over there. Do you have any final words for everybody?
Yeah, COVID sucks.
And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you.
Okay.
Did you hear about the Italian chef who passed away? Oh, I ruined it. Did you hear about the Italian chef who died?
Did not.
He passed away.
Oh, he passed away?
Passed
Gotcha.
away.
Okay. Did you hear about the constipated accountant?
No.
He couldn't budget.
That's funny. I sold my vacuum the other day.
Did it suck?
Now I was just collecting dust.
Yeah. All right, you ready to go?
Yes, let's do this.